I have a future still.
Oh, fuck you. Episode 51, Viva Physical Media.
Welcome to Viva Physical Media.
This is our holiday show, Christmas show.
This is our Christmas spectacular here. Hey, happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
It's 51, which is crazy. We're now closer to 100 than we ever have been.
That's 100% true.
That's 100% true. And because of that, and because it's close to my favorite holiday, I got...
And your birthday.
And my birthday, which is on Christmas Day, by the way, you guys.
Christmas, baby.
I got both of you guys a little present.
Oh my God, we got presents?
You guys got presents.
And we got presents?
You got presents.
Oh my God.
This is for you.
Thank you.
This is for Rich.
Are you going to come out here and open it on camera, buddy?
You guys can just do whatever you want, Rich.
Well, come. I want Rich to make an appearance.
It's nothing crazy. It's just a little.
Pretty crazy.
Not pretty crazy. It's just a little something.
Oh man. Da, 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 da. Jeopardy theme song.
It's a little something
we
to
open
keep you
presents.
warm. To keep you warm this holiday season.
Santa socks.
Did I get the same thing?
Well, maybe socks.
Oh, I got candy cane socks.
Candy cane socks.
Hell yes.
I know Rich is a big sock guy. Matt, I don't think you're as much of a sock guy.
I'm not, but because I wear boots to walk my dog, I need
socks
long
that, like,
socks.
what?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
great.
very excited about this. Thank
Fantastic.
you so much.
You are
Thank you.
so welcome.
It's
You're
beautiful.
welcome.
I didn't get you anything.
That's okay.
Not yet.
Because it's only December 8th, so you got time.
Oh, really?
I also-
but you're only getting one present because it's your birthday and Christmas, so I'm going to rip you off.
All right, every person at Safeway who IDs me ever. I also got everyone Christmas beers that no one except for me likes.
They were gross.
Shout out to Obeck Christmas Lager, Czech style lager with spices.
It tastes like
fine.
it tastes like Rainier with turmeric in
You're
it.
fine. It's like Rainier if I just poured some turmeric from my closet.
Not okay.
It's fine. I will drink these.
However, this animal Wayfinder Animal Pilsner is very
Wayfinder
good.
never goes wrong.
Never goes wrong for you?
Like,
Okay.
It's pretty great.
It's very good.
Yeah. Okay. So happy
Oh,
holidays,
I feel like
you
I'm
guys.
home alone.
My favorite part in Home Alone 2 is when he's in the limo and they're asking if he wants to order pizza and he's like, I'm not driving.
Home Alone 2, marginally better than Home Alone 1.
I think it is better.
Even given the Trumpio, it's better.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. It's like
Yeah.
we got Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, so good. The action finale is even more violent.
Did you know that I've had people, I don't know if you guys have, but I've had people come in asking for that movie that's in there.
Angels with filthier
Even
souls.
souls
Yeah,
or whatever. Which doesn't make sense.
Yes,
not a real
I
movie.
host a show at Hattie's Hat every other Thursday, and we showed Home Alone 2 last week, and I had to explain to everybody
That
in the
it's not
room
real.
that
Because it's angels
that
with
none of the
pretty
movies are
faces,
real.
right?
Yeah, it's angels. There's Angels with Pretty Faces. That's a real movie. Yeah.
And then it's Filthier Souls is not real.
Yes, but Angels with Filthy Souls and Angels with Even Filthier Souls, not real films.
Unfortunately.
Despite the fact that AC ain't in charge no more, those aren't real.
Well, Merry Christmas, you guys. This is going to come out probably around the 17th or 18th, I think.
Right on time for Avatar.
Right
Oh,
around
I'm
the
seeing Avatar on Monday.
I know, and I was invited to come with, but I cannot. And that's fine because I'm not a huge Avatar head.
It turned out I'm not allowed to bring anybody at all, so it's good that you turned that down. Yeah.
Okay. Is the Blue Man Group gonna fucking...
If it was the next, there's another show on the day after that I could bring somebody to, but
Are you so
I'm
excited?
going to the Monday. I'm so excited.
People being excited about it on the internet is making me be like, oh shit, like, should I rewatch Avatar?
Yes,
And
you should.
I get re-excited? Because I'm like, that's fine.
I went and saw the re-release in September in the theater. Movie rips.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, the internet's going crazy. So our next episode is probably going to be more like the end of the year, what we discovered, great things that have come out that year. So stay tuned for that. And also send us your shit. Like if you were like,
Please.
this is my best of the year list, like feel free to send that to us. That'd
people
be
should
awesome.
absolutely send us their
Totally.
top 10s.
Yeah. And
That would be so cool.
that would be really cool. Send us your Sight and Sound list over the
How do you
next
feel
year.
about that?
I I'm really interested in it because I don't think when it came, because it's every 10 years, right? I didn't give a shit when it came out a year ago because
What were you, 10?
Yeah, a year ago I was 10. That's true. Yeah, I'm 20. It's illegal that I'm drinking. No, I was graduating college, so I was into film, but I had like just started getting into film. So I wasn't.
So Vertigo, no big deal.
I didn't know about shit, and now I know about stuff. And
Have you seen Jean Dillman?
Yeah,
It's great,
it took
though.
me a long time to get through it.
I feel like that is an absolutely worthy number one.
I believe it is too. Did you see Paul Schrader's shit on it?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But also, like,
He's
I love that he exists.
I love that he
on the internet.
exists,
I love that he's
yes.
posting shit on Facebook all the
And,
time.
his Taylor Swift aficionado-ship is very important to me.
I love that Schrader's a Swiftie, just like me.
Yes, that's very cool. However, I mean, to call the...
I love that he was like getting rid. Did you see him try to get rid of his couch for free on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, I did. I mean, like, if I lived in New York, I would totally take that
for sure.
couch. You know whose couch that is? It's Paul Schrader's couch.
Paul Schrader's couch.
You probably like shake out Coke.
There's probably a bag
There's
of Coke
probably
in
plenty
between
of Coke in there.
between the
Yeah.
seats.
But
yeah.
I think it sucks that that like people, especially Paul Schrader, people
like,
prominent
writing
like
it
that,
off as, like,
are like,
people trying to be
oh, it's
woke
too
or
woke or
whatever.
whatever. That's bullshit.
It's been 10 years. It's not like this thing happened. It's not like last year Jean Dillman was not even on the list. You know what I mean?
And even if that's in any way correct, that like there is some kind of
Good. It's a
calculated
that's a good
idea to
shift.
like nominate more women filmmakers, things like that. Good. Great.
It's a good shift.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just being like, oh, a random woman filmmaker movie. It's
And
like
it's-
Jean
yeah.
Dillman's a fucking good movie.
It's fucking great. It is what it is. And I would also argue that the prominence of slow cinema, like Jean Dillman, has become very important.
You see, I feel like there was some, I don't know who posted it on Twitter. It was some thing that was like, what's your favorite slow cinema? And there was like a lot of people who responded. It was really interesting to read. Do you know off the top of
My
your head?
favorite
It's like-
slow cinema
yeah.
movie?
I ask you this with not knowing mine. I don't have mine ready, so.
I don't know if...
Meister's Harmonies.
Ooh, good one.
I don't know about-
Good one. I mean, there's Satan Tango,
I haven't seen that one.
which is great.
I haven't seen a lot. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of slow
I'm not
cinema.
sure that it counts as slow cinema, but it is directed by Jacques Rivette, and he has made numerous instances of what I would call slow cinema. But his two-part Joan of Arcs, his two-part Joan of Arc
Yeah.
films are decidedly lacking in action
Yeah.
and are very good.
And I mean, like Tarkovsky, some stuff.
I mean, fucking Solaris.
know.
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want from me? That's interesting.
But I mean, I think that to go back to the initial discussion, Jean Dillman, an excellent choice. Even if I don't agree that it is the best movie ever made,
Ever,
is
yeah.
immaterial. That's a very good. That's a very good choice.
It still is like in the runners. to
And
at
the
least
and the idea that many more people are going to be exposed to that movie and are going to seek it out because of its nomination
I wonder if
as the
it's
best
checked out
film of all
right now.
time.
Scarecrow. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I
Checked out the first day.
I know
Yeah.
Beacon is doing a show.
Beacon is showing it, yeah, and so like that's a net positive.
That's great. No, that's great. Everyone get more into films like
Get
that.
more into get more into Chantal
female-
Ackerman. She made
yeah.
way more great films than that one too.
Interesting to see, like, on that Twitter thread of like favorite slow cinema, there was like random people being like Magnolia, or like
Magnolia is
or, like,
not
things
slow
like
cinema.
that, and I'm just like, are you confusing long
Yeah,
long
it's
runtime
Yeah.
with slow?
I would not call Magnolia slow.
Yeah,
It is long,
it's long, but it's not.
I mean, it's
slow.
like not slow.
It's not that director's slowest movie.
Yeah, it's seriously.
Check out episode of Magnolia on Suspense is Killing Us Patreon.
Hell yeah.
Do that. I know a lot of people are making their own like sight and sound lists and stuff, and like
I was
maybe-
not invited to participate.
I'm inviting you right now. No one
Oh,
invited
okay.
me. But maybe in the future, if you guys want to see that, maybe we can try to do something like that. It might be hard, but
Scarecrow and
we
Sound.
might do our Scarecrow and Sound.
Yeah, it's not a very good title.
Ooh.
We could do better than that.
Maybe, do you think we could corral people to do a sight and sound? We'll think about it.
That's an
We'll figure it
incredible
out.
fucking idea. I can't believe that we just
We'll do
came
a
up with it right
Scarecrow sight
now.
and sound. We might do that.
That's such a good idea. We could raise money off that shit.
Maybe we could raise.
Hell yes, we could.
Can we monetize that?
I'm gonna tell Kate about this on Monday.
Okay, cool. That's in the works, so like stay tuned for that. And yeah, episode 51, we're gonna have some holiday surprises. We're gonna have some non-holiday surprises, and it's gonna be a great episode. And let's fucking
Let's go. Let's fucking do it.
3. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
Mailbag.
Solid mailbag.
Very good
Solid.
mailbag.
We should have done it to the tune of some sort of Christmas song. You know, it's hard.
We should have
it's
done
hard
it to
for
the
us right
tune
now
of
'cause
Weird
it's
Al
like-
Yankovic's Christmas at Ground Zero.
I'll duck and cover with my Yuletide lover underneath the mistletoe.
It's hard because it's still so early in the month, so like we're not quite in the Christmas spirit yet, but we know this is gonna come out like in the fucking middle
I don't
of
have
it.
any Christmas spirit.
Matt's lacking Christmas spirit, but we'll try to turn around. I just got you Christmas socks.
Well, I mean, like, I'm getting into the Christmas
Yeah,
spirit, but I
it's a
didn't
process.
previously have any.
It's a process, and we're working through it.
I've had a couple of drinks, so it's.
We're working through
working
it.
on it.
And you know, you didn't want the Christmas ale, so that's
No,
not
I
gonna
fucked
help.
it up. I ruined everything. God damn it.
All right. Do you want to read us our postcard?
Yes,
or
I
show
do.
us our postcard first.
We have this beautiful postcard with the very
Beautiful is the right word.
very handsome Adam
Beautiful is the
Driver.
right word.
One of my favorite current actors. He says, "Let's be friends." I would love to be friends with Adam
I'd
Driver.
love to be friends with that.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
climb 'em like a goddamn
I would like to be
tree.
friends with him too. Can you share your favorite Adam Driver movie
Easy.
or favorite
Or-
It Boy actor from years past? Alternatively, your favorite Harvey Keitel role. Thanks, Curious in Santa Fe. Curious.
Love that.
Curious, we have some good answers for you. Are we going to answer the It Boy thing? Because I
mean,
was
we
going to
can-
stick to the Adam Driver
We
thing.
can like riff off that after we do our things.
I don't
but-
know if I know a good It
I
Boy.
think Pete Davidson's
I think I do.
becoming an It Boy.
You know, It Boy, Zac Efron.
Totally. And even though he had like jaw surgery or whatever, I think I like him better now.
And a lot of his movies I don't like, but he's good in them.
He's so good. The Paperboy?
Did you see the one where he goes to Vietnam to give people beer?
No, but I love that.
Terrible
I love that
movie
for him.
from the director of Green Book. Garbage. But he's very good in it.
Dude, Neighbors. So good.
Neighbors.
I actually
Although,
talked about
I will
Neighbors
tell you-
on this show a long time ago.
The best thing in Neighbors is in Neighbors 2 when they're all, it's because it's the girls
Yeah.
in Neighbors 2, and Awkwafina is like, I fucked the pizza man. I gave him 5 stars on Yelp. That shit's funny.
Awkwafina, so
Awkwafina, very funny.
Also, him in the new Firestarter movie as the dad was actually. Like,
Oh, that's right. He was really good. Yeah.
He's just good in the shit.
I
you
think
know?
that movie was not very good, but he was very good in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right, Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, you go first.
Okay. I love Adam Driver.
Me
One
too.
of my big celeb crushes. Ooh,
I think he's one of the best,
he's just
like,
good.
current,
You know, he was
like,
in the
contemporaneous
military?
working actor. Yes, he was a Marine.
Also, Rich, if you can flash up this photo of Adam Driver with a baby goat around his neck, shirtless. It's a great image, and I just want to share it with
Just
all
send
our
that to
viewers.
just send that to me anyway.
send-
I hope this isn't inappropriate behavior.
So the first time I met Adam Driver was in a little show called Girls,
Great show.
and he's amazing in it.
Hey, she'll show you her tits if you give her some ice cream.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yes, you will.
I'm not gonna do that.
Just kidding. I had $5.
You know, he plays Adam, and he is just so good in it. So I definitely have to talk about that as one of the best performances.
I mean, as what my generation would call him a stud in
he's
that
a
movie.
fucking stud in that show.
In that show.
And then we obviously have to talk about one of my favorites, Annette. Mm-hmm. He's great in that. It's like him being able to just really like hone in on his theater boy skills. You know, it's just like total theater kid nerd stuff.
Absolutely.
And
What's your problem? Fucking problem.
You think I care? You think I care what you all think of me now? You think I care? You think I care what you wimps think of me now?
that movie, if you haven't seen Annette, please see it. It's great. If you have somehow, if you know of a region-free disc of some sort, please send it my way. And then the third like random performance that I really like Adam Driver in is Francis Ha.
Oh man,
Where
that
he
movie
plays
is
like an
so good.
He plays like an obnoxious like art bro. Like, and he goes on one date with Frances, and it's the time where they go out to eat, and she wants to pay because she wants to not be like.
And he has to go to the ATM
And
or
no,
whatever.
she has to run to the
Yeah.
ATM, and she's like, "Fuck!" And she realizes the ATM's like 5 blocks away, and she has to like run the whole way there and back.
I'm sorry, but the card didn't go through. Do you have another card you want to try?
Oh shit, sorry. This is a debit card?
Only credit cards are cash.
Okay. I'm so embarrassed. I'm not a real person yet.
I got it.
But then they end up just being like best friends and like living together.
It's funny too because when
fantastic.
that movie came out, he was still only in Girls.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
And I was like, oh, it's that guy.
And I was like, oh yeah, I love him.
That handsome man who I love. Yeah, he is so good. Francis Ha also, like, aside from the Adam Driver performance,
one of my absolute
somehow
favorites.
still underappreciated despite being an incredible
One of my
film.
favorites. I don't think I've related more to a movie ever. You know, it really like hit home when
Great film.
when I watched it for the first time when I was like in my mid-20s or whatever, and I
Yes.
was like, oh yeah, this is me. Thanks, Greta. Again.
Tremendous film.
Since I saw
And she's
Greta Gerwig in her, like,
and Miss
my
Greta
whole
Gerwig has only gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, shout out Greta if you're
Shout out Greta Gerwig. The 2019 Little Women, one of the best movies
That's gonna
of
come
its
up a little
decade.
later. What are your Adam Driver performances?
My Adam Driver, I only picked two.
That's fine.
Not because, of a dearth of choices, but I picked two. I picked unpopular or easy choice, whatever. I think he's the best thing about the Star Wars sequels.
He's really good in them.
I really love him in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Like that shit at the end where Chewbacca is flying the Millennium Falcon and he's like, blow that ship out of the sky. Awesome. And the big fight that he has
a
with
good Adam Driver,
with Daisy
to be
Ridley in the throne room is awesome. Like I
What
think
about
he's
their
so
weird,
good.
like, sexual tension?
100% here for it.
Oh yeah. Like the word is good. He's
Yeah,
just good.
the word is
The
good.
word is good.
100%.
Because like all his performance, even fucking House of Gucci,
Great film.
like he,
House of
him in those
Gucci,
turtlenecks, are you kidding me?
where he somehow nukes fucking Lady Gaga, who is amazing in that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible.
And my second choice for Adam Driver is the Jim Jarmusch film Patterson.
Which I still have not seen, and I forgot it was Jim Jarmusch.
Terrific film. This is a guy who is like, he's a bus driver in New Jersey. He has a girlfriend who is like kind of a handful, a little bit too much. He writes poetry, and I would trade lives with this guy in a hot second. And Driver is the perfect, like, here's a guy who can play Darth Vader's nephew and
that.
a poetry writing bus driver. He might be the best current young actor.
Sometimes I'm like, we don't have any like weird, unique actors like we used to have.
Yeah.
Everyone seems kind of cookie cutter because everyone's kind of siphoned off into this Marvel or whatever type thing.
Right. And he's done that
He's done
and
that
maintained
and
it.
done like weird shit, which
Yep.
is the same with like, I mean, not the Marvel thing, but I feel like also like Daniel Radcliffe has been like big and then made weird choices.
Totally.
It's like actors who are big but then also make weird indie
Totally.
choices.
I
and
want to
love
see.
that.
I want to see Driver in Tarantino, his last movie.
I would. Be
I think
down.
Tarantino could do something really interesting with Driver.
Definitely think so.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you can't just walk away. This is a crime scene.
Did you just say cauliflower to me?
So Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel.
All right, so too fucking many though, because Harvey Keitel is just in too fucking many amazing movies. He's great. Here are my picks: Bad Lieutenant, completely batshit crazy movie. Watch that, and then watch the Nicolas Cage Bad Lieutenant. It's such a fun time. Such a fun fucking
And you get
time.
to see Harvey's dick.
Yes. Blue Collar, which I talked about on this show before. Amazing movie. And then Fingers, which I also talked about on this show before. Those are my Harvey Keitel picks.
Excellent choices.
Thank you.
I had 5, because Harvey Keitel has had a significantly broader career than Adam
Yeah.
Driver as yet, just because of time. Anyways, in no particular order, Clockers, the Spike Lee film, From Dusk Till Dawn, where he plays like
Incredible.
the preacher dad, is great. Reservoir Dogs, of course. The Last Temptation of Christ, which I have mentioned multiple times and will
Yes.
probably mention again later in this episode.
And which I have not seen yet, but I feel like this Christmas season is the time for me.
He plays Judas. You should watch it.
I should just grab it tonight, huh?
Maybe you should come over and we can watch Last
watch it
Temptation of Christ together.
I would love to.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Let's do it.
Let's do
That'd
that.
be so weird. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
that.
cool. We're
Okay.
gonna do it.
And then finally, a movie that he is not often associated with, but in which he plays a very important role, Thelma and Louise.
So I forgot he was even in this movie.
He plays
but I haven't seen it in
he
like
plays
10
the
years.
FBI agent who is chasing Thelma and Louise. And he is a sympathetic character in that movie. He's very, very good. And Thelma and Louise, also just a ripper, like a masterpiece, a great film. So those are my Harvey Keitel picks.
Any extra?
How about you?
Oh yeah, Rich. What do you got?
His 3 seconds in Apocalypse Now.
Hell yeah! From which he was fired.
From which he was fired. And
Really?
shot
Why
him
was
going
he
onto a boat.
fired?
He wouldn't put up with Coppola's
I
process.
mean, I heard that entire
I
movie
think
was a
it-
shit.
He
show.
also got fired from Eyes Wide Shut for the same reasons. He was like, I don't like this Kubrick guy.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a blowout. It
Right.
It was more like, I don't like what you're doing, but I want you to be able to do what you're doing.
Right.
I'm not
the right guy for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I've seen anything with him in it.
That was a joke.
I want to bring up another thing that I forgot Adam Driver was in. Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh man.
When him and
Oh.
when him and isn't Justin Timberlake? Mm-hmm. So amazing. Yeah. What is even that? You'll.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 second, please.
Please, Mr. Kennedy, I don't wanna go. Don't shoot me in the outer space. Oh, please, Mr. Kennedy.
So good.
So good.
A movie that when it came out, people were like, this is major Coen brothers. And
then no one talked about it
no one
ever
talks
again.
about it anymore.
Red-blooded wife with a healthy libido.
Space.
You lose her vote
Louder.
if you make her a widow.
What are your thoughts on Pete Davidson?
You know,
You don't have many.
I have some. I haven't really loved him in any movies.
Yeah.
I didn't like his Judd Apatow movie very much, The King of Staten Island.
haven't seen it yet.
I didn't think that was very good, but mostly because it was just really long. He was in Bodies, which I
my
also
God.
didn't love.
He was great in it.
But
though,
he was
wasn't
good in it.
He
Yeah.
was like perfectly cast, I feel
He
like.
was, absolutely. I didn't think the movie was great, but he was good in it. However, I really like his stand-up.
I think that's kind of similar to me because I really love him on SNL and like I love him in interviews and I've seen a couple stand-up things with him in and I also like him there. And
I like how
then-
forthright and analytical he is about his mental illness and
Yeah,
his struggles with his
right,
own health.
right.
And I really appreciate that. I
and
think
in
it's really healthy.
Bodies, he was great. And then I feel like he's been a cameo in some other movies that I thought he was good in. And I don't know.
But I
he's
feel
just
like
a likable, funny dude.
The
He's a weirdo
the
fucking
discourse
dude.
around him is like he dates really sexy, hot,
'Cause
like
he's funny and cool.
he's funny, cool, and also what jealous men say is that he has a really big dick.
I mean, but also what Ariana
also-
Grande said. Ariana Grande literally penned Big Dick Energy because
of him.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, but also he seems like he's a really funny, nice dude.
I would date him.
I mean, I would date him.
All right.
Yeah, but he was a traitor to the Suicide Squad.
Oh, but that was a really funny scene, and I love that movie.
All right. So hopefully, Curious in Seattle, we answered your question and more. Mm-hmm. All right. We got another mailbag. We have an email. This is from Nicole Lamb. She says, "Hello, Emily and Matt. We like to watch giallo and noir movies in November, and this year we wanted to see the
Pupi Avati, giallo.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. The House of the Laughing Windows. Scarecrow to the rescue, as of course you guys have it. However, it is one of the rental by approval only due to its current lack of an obtainable release. We rented and loved the movie, and it had us thinking that it would be great to see the film get the Arrow-like re-release treatment.
Sweet, yeah.
Then that had us wondering, what are a few rental by approval only films, the Scarecrow collection, that you guys would really be stoked to see such a new release treatment? If you have already done such a segment, answered such a question, sorry. Please let us know what episode of Viva that you did. Thank you both and all of the Scarecrow crew for all that you do. Nicole and William. P.S. If there is still time, what would you recommend for Christmas, not Christmas movies? We had previously watched Die Hard and have Edward Scissorhands up for this year.
Killer. Okay, I want to say one thing before we start. A lot of times people write us emails and they're like, oh, sorry if we asked this question before, or if somebody else answered it, or whatever. Don't even start.
Don't worry.
Don't apologize.
Don't ever apologize to us.
We'll
unless
answer the
you're,
question.
Like, being mean.
We'll answer the question twice. We don't care. We're very happy to have your feedback and emails. So don't ever apologize ever again.
Don't you ever fucking...
Ever. RBA titles.
There's a lot. It's a weird discourse. I couldn't think of any off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
it's
same.
only because this type of thing is always in flux and also doesn't really mean what a lot of people think it means.
Correct. Yeah. It's not like these are the most awesome movies or something like that.
Or like this is the only thing. Like
Yeah.
what I mentioned earlier when we were just kind of talking about this is like, let's say the Criterion La Dolce Vita release is an RBA of $200. But however, you can rent
other versions.
another version of the movie.
Yeah. And that's just because the Criterion has extras that maybe the other versions don't have.
And they're not currently printing it any
Right.
longer, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like random horror movies that have this RBA on it, like maybe a lot of VHS. If VHS is the only way this movie is out, then it'll have the RBA on it. Honestly, any of those getting a new release would be amazing because a lot of those regional horror movies and stuff like that, just the really like low budget
and like
ones.
to have them come out on a nice, more concrete version
Which
would
is
be
why,
good.
you know, organizations like AGFA and like Arrow. And Vinegar and
Yeah.
all of that stuff is so great. I don't know, off the top of my head, like I can't think of
I really can't think of anything specific. The thing about the RBA, and this is a question I get asked a lot because I do a lot of interviews about Scarecrow, is, you know, what's the one thing? What's
people
what's
wanna
the
know
crown
that.
jewel? And people want to know that, and
it's
that's
like,
a totally
it's more like we're all the crown
this
jewel, dude.
exactly.
This is the crown
collection
jewel.
is the crown jewel. We have 30,000 movies that are the crown jewel,
Yeah.
and we have 145,000 movies.
Yeah.
You know, like we have shit here you're never going to see anywhere else. And it's not about the one thing. The
Right.
collection is the thing. Would we love to see every single movie that we have here readily available to everyone all the
And
time?
have an awesome like brand new Blu-ray release. Tight.
Absolutely. It will put us out of business, but we'd still love to see that. But it's not going to happen. There isn't really one crown jewel. It's probably a disappointing answer.
If we think about it though, and we'll maybe add it next episode. We'll add something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like an on-the-spot one it's pretty hard. I get asked this question a lot, and I never have a good answer for it. I've been here long enough that 10 years ago, I'd have a good answer for you, and those movies have come out. There's a movie, and I hesitate to mention it because Bill Cosby is in it, but it's called Hickey and Boggs.
Oh, isn't that supposed to be a great movie?
It's a great film. I love it. It's one of my favorite films, despite the fact that, you know, Bill Cosby's in it now. But anyway, I love that movie. And for many, many, many years, it was very hard to see. It was a holy grail movie. And now it's out on Blu-ray in a gorgeous presentation.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. So, like, a lot of the holy grail stuff
moves. Like, I remember, like, my boyfriend Nick was like, one of the first times I came in, I tried to Royale or something and had to put down a deposit. You know, it's stuff like that. It evolves.
Yeah.
And it shifts and it changes, and that's why like boutique labels are like so amazing because they find these gems and they're like, oh, people need to see this. Let's re-release this. Let's get the rights and whatever, you know. And we'll always have that new. So that's why our new releases are not only things that come out this year. It's new releases of labels who find these old gems and put out a new release.
At least half of the new releases we put out every week are catalog titles.
Exactly.
Are older movies.
So definitely come and check that out.
So hopefully that's a good answer.
And then we have her second question, which is Christmas, not Christmas. And she gave the example of Die Hard and Edward Scissorhands. So I guess like having the Christmas vibe or maybe having a Christmas scene, but not necessarily a Christmas movie.
You go.
Okay, because I have some here.
I have two.
I'm obviously going to say Little Women, both the 90s version and the Greta Gerwig version that we just
far
talked about
superior 2019 version.
I don't believe I love her, but I do not believe it's far superior. And then I'm also going to say When Harry Met Sally is good because it's a very fall movie in my brain, but they also do have a definite like Christmas and New Year's sequence, and that is also going to come into play later in the episode. And my last two are going to be Eyes Wide Shut.
Ooh, good one.
Amazing. If you're ever like, I wonder if candlelight looks good or Christmas lights, do they look cool?
Fidelio.
What is this? It's the name of a Beethoven opera, isn't it? Nick.
Is that like
The password.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Password's Fidelio. Nick Nightingale.
Tom Cruise is
Director of Tar.
Tom Cruise is a doctor. So Eyes Wide Shut, and then Batman Returns.
Oh, fucking yes!
Yeah.
Batman Returns rips. That's the
Amazing.
best Batman movie.
So these, I agree completely.
Out of all of them.
These are all Christmas, not Christmas movies that I believe that you should watch this season.
I only have 2, and one is kind of still a Christmas
That's
movie.
okay.
And that one is 1940's Remember the Night by Mitch Leeson, who directed Midnight that I talked about on the previous episode.
What's Remember the Night about?
Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck. Fred McMurray plays a
the one where they all
prosecuting attorney.
pretend- Oh, she's like a thief and then she goes home with them?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love Barbara Stanwyck. This is a good one, you guys.
Great one.
It's good.
And then number 1 would be the third. Okay, so there's the hierarchy of Christmas action films. And it goes Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. Number 4 is Die Hard 2, which is technically still a Christmas movie.
Is it?
Yes, also takes place at Christmas. But number 3, The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's my third go-to Christmas movie. I also frequently will watch the David Fincher 2012 Dragon Tattoo because it's snowy and
good
cozy,
movie.
and I love it.
That's a really good movie.
I think it's great. I think it might be my favorite David Fincher movie.
That's interesting.
I know
would've guessed
it's a
it.
huge stretch, but every time I watch it, it gets better.
That's mine.
It's like Miami Vice with Michael Mann. It's just like, I think I really love this
I
one.
think mine might be Gone Girl.
Gone Girl is fucking great. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Say no to Gone Girl?
Fincher episode.
Well, we did 4 Finchers on the Patreon for Suspense, but you weren't a part of that, unfortunately.
But Join Suspense's Patreon.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for your questions. If you guys want to know anything else, if you have any suggestions, it's going to be the end of the year soon. If you want to send us your end of the year
I want to know
discoveries.
people's New Year's movies because there's there's Halloween movies, there's Christmas movies, there are very few Thanksgiving movies. But I want to know people's New Year's movies.
New Year's movies are good. Send us your favorite New Year's movies.
I want your New Year's movies that aren't like 200 cigarettes that don't necessarily take. I'm not trying to say anything bad about that. I'm just saying I want the off ones. I want the off-kilter ones.
Carry the vibe of
carry the vibe. The ones that you fall back on New Year's. They don't necessarily have to be about the holiday, but your picks for
I love that.
rejuvenating, revitalizing a new year.
Recentering. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Also, send us your favorite things that have come out in 2022, favorite discoveries
100%.
of 2022.
Send us your top 5s.
Anything that you've discovered this year from whatever decade or whatever year. Also, movie resolutions. If you have New Year's movies resolutions. I know me and Kevin did some at the beginning of this year. I don't think I did.
Did you
very
follow
well.
through?
I mean, one of mine was to watch more stuff that I owned, and I did a little bit, but really not as much.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, I'll have to go back and look. But if you guys have any New Year's movie resolutions, send us.
Yeah, we want to hear that stuff.
As well. 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast, Seattle, Washington, 98105, if you want to send us actual mail.
Yeah. Viva@scarecrow.com.
If you want to send us email.
Or you can slide into our DMs.
Slide into our DMs.
Yeah, go for
Physical Viva, or at Colonel Mortimer, or at E. Soderback on Twitter. That's a mailbag.
it. Mailbag. Mailbag. And what time is it, babe?
It's Raunch versus Raunch.
Raunch versus Raw.
We're here.
Let's
with
go.
some Raunch versus Raunch. I know it's been a while, but you guys are ready for this.
Let's go.
You guys are ready for this.
We were going to do it last episode, but I fucked up and forgot to watch my ROM.
Yeah. So this Raunch is a little stale.
It's overdue.
It's stale in my brain. We'll
It's
see what
smoky.
happens. In my corner of the ring, we have First Time.
The first time.
1983, directed
it's in
by.
air quotes.
Directed by.
It's just the only virgin on campus was Charlie. There's one
The First
virgin
Time,
in college.
1983.
Speaking as somebody who went to college, I tell you there are other virgins there.
Directed by Charlie Leventhal.
The great Charlie
I guess
Leventhal.
is also the name of the main character, which is why I got confused.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's fucking awesome.
All right, who's in your corner of the ring?
Tonight I have the 1998 Gwyneth Paltrow vehicle, Sliding Doors.
Okay. All right, let's see what we can do. Rich, can we get 2 minutes on the clock?
Absolutely.
All right. The First Time, 1983, directed by Charlie Loventhal, also stars a boy named Charlie who goes to college and is a virgin. And all he wants to do is meet the right girl and have sex for the first time, obviously.
I mean, just like many of us.
He's also a film major.
What?
And his film professor is Wallace Shawn.
Holy shit, this is like my life. This is biography.
Wallace Shawn is
All I
like
want to do is meet Wallace Shawn and have sex with a girl.
It's his flamboyant film professor. His name is Jules. And he's very much in the camp of like yes and basically for like your film projects or whatever. And Charlie just wants to make like funny, like fun kind of exploitation-y films with his friends.
Like teenage shitty movies?
Kind of like, even like kind of just like action violent movies and stuff, like cool stuff. And everyone else is trying too hard to be deep and stuff. But he also really wants to get laid. So with advice from his boisterous academic advisor, as well as his playboy sweet mate named Ron, they try to make him lose his virginity. Even his parents are worried about him losing his virginity. So much so that, in fact, his mom enrolls in the college that he's at in the same film program, is in the same film classes he is in, and
that's not going to help him get laid.
And wins. Her movie is going to go to the film festival, which is interesting. If Wallace Shawn at one point says, "Films that entertain, what a waste of the medium."
I wish there were so many people invested in me having sex when I was in college.
This movie is not very raunchy. All the talk about him wanting to have sex does not really end up him having sex. He has a crush on this one girl who's kind of like a flighty bitch, and then he meets friends with another girl who... You should have given me way more than a 5-second. You should have given me like a 30-second countdown.
So we've got, I think, 1998's, I want to say, Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow in a dual role as Gwyneth Paltrow and Gwyneth Paltrow. She plays a young lady named Helen who gets up one morning and is late for work and wants to go. She's on her way to her job and she takes the tube. By the way, Gwyneth Paltrow putting on a British accent in this movie. She lives in London. She takes the tube and she misses the train. But then another version of her catches the train. And we follow both of her, sort of the divergent versions of her life after that point. It's kind of loosely a remake of the Kieslowski film, The Double Life of Veronique.
Love that movie.
Which is a great film.
Oh, yeah.
This is not as good.
Don't see this, but see this.
This is not as good. It's good, but it's not as good. In one version of the story, she stays with her boyfriend who is cheating on her with Jean Triplehorn, who plays like an evil fucking bitch. Just an awful woman. And in another version of the story, she catches her boyfriend cheating on her with Jean Triplehorn, breaks up with him, and starts to have an affair with a young man, John Hannah, who is also very good in this movie.
John Hamm.
No, not John Hamm. No one knew who John Hamm was in 1998. Least of all me. Anyway.
He was probably pretty cute in 1998.
I bet he was. He's like my age, I think. Anyway, this is a very sweet movie that deals with a lot of interesting stuff about the kinds of decisions that women sort of get to be forced to make and the kinds of relationships that we expect people to have. It's a really sweet film. She's very good in it. It kind of peters out by the end, but I found it to be mostly enjoyable. It's a very 90s, very late 90s Weinstein artifact. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. My final closing statement is the end of this movie. It turns out that Charlie Loventhal, the main character, his advisor, has actually been setting him up as a social experiment to see if he could get laid or not. And
wow, that's fucked up.
The letterbox user, sleaze_cheese, says, weakest boner jam ever. And I agree with him. And that's my closing statement.
My closing statement about Sliding Doors is that this is a delightful and slightly thorny romantic drama from the late 90s in the Miramax period. I think that it's kind of iconic because of Gwynnie, pre-Goop Gwynny,
Yeah.
on whom I had an enormous crush when I was a young man. And I think it's a very sweet and interesting spin on a classic foreign film, The Double Life of Veronique.
All right.
Sliding doors.
You guys be the judge. Comment below and tell us if you would like to vote for The First Time, The Raunch, or
The Rom.
Sliding Doors.
Do it.
Tell us below, and we'll tally it up either next time or the next time after that.
Excuse me?
What is your point of view on the menstrual flow?
The menstrual flow.
No, it does. It does. No gag. Never make a joke about women's hair, clothes, or menstrual cycles. Page 1.
All right, let's get into the...
Let's get into the meat.
The meat and potatoes of it all.
You go first.
Happy holidays. I'm going to go first. Women in Love. Ken Russell. 1969.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a criterion.
Nice. I watched this movie recently and really liked it. It's a very weirdo, ultra horny, ultra kind of depressing, weird, dreamy period piece.
Horny and depressing. I'm sold.
It's very horny and depressing. There's some tragic shit in it. There's some very horny shit in it. There's some very... It's very contemplative on basically the meaning of love and commitment is basically the theme of it. You've seen it, so you know. I'm telling you guys. It's a period piece that takes place in post-World War I England. It's two sisters who end up... They're kind of just like... whatever about life. They're like, we don't really want to be like the normal like class expectations of what people think we should be.
Ursula, do you really not want to get married? I don't know. Depends how you mean. Usually means one thing.
They wear like very bright colored outfits and stuff. They're fucking cool. You'd want to be friends with them. And then they fall in love with these two BFF boys, these two boisterous dude bros, played by, I almost said Oliver Stone, played by Oliver Reed.
Oh my God, I wish.
Played by Oliver Reed and Alan
He's like
Bates.
into Putin now and stuff. Terrible.
Alan Bates is like very like kind of woo-woo party boy. He's very kind of like, he has a very nihilistic view on romance and stuff.
You mean that if there isn't a woman, then there's nothing?
More or less there. Seeing there's no God.
And then Oliver...
Would you say he's like a fuckboy?
He's kind of a fuckboy, but he's also like, if he finds the right girl, he'll like settle down, like in spite of himself.
I want to sit with my beloved in a field with daisies growing all around us.
And then Oliver Reed is very much like, I am a sad rich boy. You know, like I have this mansion, but my mother's going insane.
A strange lady, my mother.
Yes.
With ideas of her own.
Even though she has all this money. And I...
It's a tragedy.
And I have all these suitor women.
It inflicts us all.
And yet I want this like manic pixie dream girl, and yet I don't know if I could ever truly feel complete. And so basically the movie is about all these different individuals' views on love and commitment. These girls kind of fall in love with these guys, and they kind of just go through their time spent together, and they're like kind of nihilistic musings on love and relationships.
So, you want everybody in the world destroyed?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you yourself, don't you think it's a wonderful, clear idea?
And it ends with them going to the Alps for Christmas, which means it's a Christmas movie, technically.
They go to the Alps?
They go to the Alps.
It sounds like a Ruben Östlund movie now.
And yet not.
Okay.
Because it's a Ken Russell movie. And so they go there, and then basically both of their relationships either fail or succeed, depending on which one it is, and I don't want to spoil it for you. It's an interesting movie. It's has a lot of like weird psychosexual stuff, a lot of ruminations on class, and culture.
If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have this house. Now, if they're in trouble, it's my duty to help them.
You'd think it your duty to invite all the rats in the world to come and gnaw at your bones.
And the kind of the crumbling of society when it was set in post-World War I, but also in the 1960s, counterculture was becoming a big thing, and like people were kind of redefining their views on relationships and monogamy and love and stuff like that. It's also like a super sensual and erotic movie. There's lots of like homoerotic undertones, but it is like the most honest when you see like the women with the men, and that's cool and all, but it's like way more honest when it's like the women talking to each other and then the men also talking to each other separately. And it kind of shows like the depth of those relationships as well. It's really cool. I haven't seen a lot of Ken Russell movies. You know, obviously I've seen The Devils, and I don't even know if I've seen
Lair of the White Worm, maybe?
Yeah, I've seen that too, but I haven't seen anything quite like this before.
And you should try Crimes of Passion. I think you'd like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But this really kind of blew me away in how it was just like a weird story about like love and relationships and like what means what to what person in what time of their life. Yeah. Especially against the backdrop of different classes and different times politically, especially in like England and stuff. I don't know. It was really interesting. And there's some weird like
I don't want to hijack your segment.
Please hijack.
I don't want to, but I think you're burying the lead here.
What's
I mean, there's a wrestling match.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. There is a naked wrestling match between Alan Bates and Oliver Reed. Against the backdrop of a fireplace, the hearth.
Yes. People don't need to know any more than that, but they need to know that that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, they're very hot. They're
super hot.
It's some hot dudes in this
movie. It's some serious dad bod energy, too.
Wait, what did we say earlier? It was like thick zaddy energy.
Thick zaddy energy, yes. That's what you said.
Yes.
Correct.
So check out Women in Love. It just got, I think this is why you probably didn't know it was Criterion. I think it was
pretty recent.
Last year or something.
Okay.
Criterion put it out, Women in Love, Ken Russell, 1969.
Killer.
Check it out.
Well, from these little red bits, the nuts come. If they receive pollen from these long danglers.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a movie that seems like it's kind of forgotten, but is so silly that I can't believe nobody loves it. And it's called Reign of Fire. This is a movie with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey from 2002, and it's a post-apocalypse movie about a world that has been destroyed by dragons. Christian Bale is a little boy at the beginning of this movie who goes to visit his mommy at a construction site in London.
Have you been smoking?
No, I told you. I only smoke when I've been drinking.
They're digging a tunnel, and they found something weird down in the tunnels. And guess what? It's dragon eggs. And it turns out that dragons hatch from those eggs, destroy the world.
But we have to go on. We have to outlast them. Only one species is getting out of this alive.
Cut to 30 years later, Christian Bale is a grown-ass dude, and he is in Mad Max realm, leading a colony of survivors in an old, factory, surviving the dragon apocalypse. This movie could not sound more stupid, and it could not rip harder, okay? I am not even fucking kidding you. This movie is so good. It is also 95 minutes minus credits.
Amazing.
Okay? It just plows through story. They are eking out a meager existence, trying to grow grass and vegetables to feed themselves, and occasionally dragons show up and try to cook people. Anyway, Matthew McConaughey and his band of soldiers show up, needing a base of operations. Oh dear. And so, an uneasy truce ensues. And Matthew McConaughey plays a guy named
Van Zandt, Kentucky Irregulars.
You're a long way from home, Van Zandt. You lost?
who is like the world's most badass dragon hunter. He carries a big battle axe, and he's really butthurt about the fact that dragons are eating his soldiers all the time.
Oh, God.
There's a great scene where like the people, they finally kill one of the dragons, and the people in Christian Bale's like little village are having a party, and Matthew McConaughey is like,
have your little soiree. Personally, you disgust me.
like he's mad. He's like a veteran of the Dragon Wars. And there, like, I can't even tell you how fucking stupid this movie is. Because there are so many post-apocalypse films. There's zombies, there's viruses, there's like, mention anything you want. This is the only one that's about how dragons destroyed us.
Yeah.
And dragons are popular now because of shit like Game of Thrones.
It's weird that this is a nature gone amok instead of post-apocalypse.
Well, I mean, it's where it belongs because they are a part of nature.
Dragons?
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
for sure. I cannot even tell you how much this movie rips. The sheer silliness factor is what puts it over. Do you know what I mean? There are scenes where, like, they have skydivers shooting dragons with grenade crossbows. It's just unbelievable. There's also a part where Christian Bale and his friend, Gerard Butler, who's also great, one of my favorite action stars of the current period, they reenact the Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader laser sword fight from Star Wars to tell the story of Star Wars to all the little kids that live in their village because they've never seen a movie before.
The Black Knight stares through the holes in his shiny mask, and he speaks words that burn into our hero's heart forever. I am your father.
It's even better than the part where the fucking people in the Postman watch The Sound of Music. It's so good. I cannot stress enough how much the charm of the silliness of the premise is infectious in this movie, but that sells the movie short because it's so well directed and so exciting that at a certain point you kind of forget how dopey it is. And it's just like, they gotta kill these fucking dragons. What's gonna happen? It rips. You gotta see Reign of Fire from the director of another deeply underrated movie, the X-Files movie, Fight the Future, the first X-Men movie, or X-Files. Super good movie. Should have been the finale of the X-Files.
Is that the one with the bees?
Yes. But still, this movie rips, and you gotta see Reign of Fire. Total forgotten.
Oh, man.
Total forgotten
I'm
piece
gonna see that
of
now.
trash. Amazing. You have to see it.
You sold me, Matt. Tight. I am going to recommend an extremely funny comedy that not enough people
Sorry, I did it on purpose.
They Come Together. And I have referenced this a few times in the show. I know, I feel like I've
You
talked
could
about
say
it.
that again.
I've referenced this a few times in the show.
You could say that again.
I've referenced this a few times in the show. If you watch the movie, you'll know what we are referencing.
You could say that again.
Talked about this in Rapid Recs and stuff, but I want to kind of dig into it this time because it's a really fucking funny comedy. If you guys are out there and you are big like Wet Hot American Summer fans or Stella fans, you're going to love this one. It was directed by David Wain, written by both David Wain and Michael Showalter. It has that weird, absurdist.
The man a prize. He's a winner. What does he want, Johnny? A new car. Yes, that is my store, and I put my whole life into it.
Molly, I had no idea.
The only line you care about is the bottom line. Look.
You can't really, this is where I back myself into a corner because this is the kind of comedy you can't really explain.
I remember in high school they made us read The Great Gatsby. I asked my teacher, did this happen? And he was like, no. And I was like, Well, then why'd they write it down?
To somebody because it sounds so goddamn stupid when you do. You just kind of have to watch it, and then you're like, oh no, it's stupid. That's why it's like funny and blah blah blah. So this stars Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd, who actually have amazing chemistry, which is kind of what makes it so good. And this is an absurdist kind of spin-off of rom-coms in the way of like When Harry Met Sally and stuff. So this movie starts out with Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd at dinner with Bill Hader and Ellie Kemper.
I forgot about Bill Hader. I love him.
Bill Hader and Ellie Kemper and them are at dinner, and they're kind of like the framing device of this whole movie, and it's them talking about their love story.
Okay, so we have our main characters.
Not quite. There was another character that was just as important as the two of us. New York City.
So New York City is like another character.
Amy Poehler works at this small like candy shop, and Paul Rudd works at this big corporation candy store that's going to like take over their smaller candy shop.
Are there any other nearby candy stores we need to know about?
It's You Got Candy.
The plot is like so dumb to explain. But the fucking cast is stacked. Oh, I was gonna actually just like read, like literally list off the cast to you guys. Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Kobe Smulders, who is in like Marvel stuff, I guess now. Christopher Maloney, who was a shining star in this movie. Max Greenfield, Schmidt from New Girl, who I fucking love. Bill Hader, Ellie Kemper, Jason Mantzoukas, Melanie Linsky, who I also love. Ed Helms, love. Like all these people are just people you fucking love. At the end, we also get a fucking John Stamos. We get, we could literally get Judge Judy and Michael Shannon. Like
hell yeah.
People we don't even expect. There's a bunch of like holiday party sequences.
Oh, hey, Brenda and I are having a series of 3 holiday parties. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve. 3 parties. Got it.
The Halloween sequence is so fucking funny. We talked about this earlier. Christopher Maloney as just got out of the shower guy because he shit his pants.
Hey, Roland. You want to tell me why your superhero costume is lying on the bathroom floor filled with shit?
What?
Oh my God.
See, I can't explain it to you
Look,
guys.
it happens.
It's hard to explain this movie because it's so dumb. But it's so funny.
That's the intent, though. Like,
and that's
it's
the
dumb.
intent. If you are a fan of Wet Hot American Summer, if you are a fan...
And how can you not be?
And how can you not be? If you are a fan of The State or Stella or Baxter or whatever, like that type of thing, you need to watch this. I always quote you love fiction books?
Hey, just because I work for a big corporation doesn't mean I don't like fiction books.
There's shit like that. It's so great.
Yes.
And I feel like it's a good holiday time comedy movie if you're like, nothing's funny anymore. I swear to God, this shit will make you laugh. There's also the whole like, someone's leaving the room and they're like,
Wait! Thanks.
Hey, wait. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Jake. Yeah.
Thanks, little brother.
hey, thanks. Just over and over again.
That's funny because I say that to you every time you leave the room.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And then the whole Paul Rudd's at the bar and the bartender, you can say that again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those movies that's hard to explain, but I swear to God, you'll love it and you'll laugh so hard.
And you can't say that again.
I went on Letterboxd to review this again when I watched it and realized I've seen it 6 times in the past 7 years.
You've logged this 6 times on Letterboxd?
Like 6 times.
Helly, you logged it every time though. Like that's dedication.
I love this movie.
I don't log my repeats.
And it's weird because when people are like, what's a comfort movie or what's like your favorite comedy? I don't think of this movie, but I think I should think of this movie.
I think you should, yeah, 100%. I think you should.
I love it. Props to David Wain, who is also only in this movie as Ed Helms' brother who sits in the back of the office. And Ed Helms is talking to Amy Poehler, and Amy Poehler's like, oh, you and your wife broke up? I'm sorry, like, what happened? And Ed Helms is like, I don't know, ask my brother.
Is he here? Can I ask him?
Yes. Keith, you have a second? What's up?
Hey, Keith, I was just wondering, what did Hillary want that was different than what Egbert wanted?
She just wanted to travel more. She wanted to focus on her photojournalism career, and marriage just wasn't conducive to that.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks, Keith.
And that's like his only part in the entire fucking movie. Props to Showalter and Wain for consistently being funny for 20 plus years.
That makes me laugh really hard just from you telling me about it. That's very good.
Go see They Came Together. It's amazing. It's really good.
So he went down on me and I came in like 1 second. Yeah.
Morning, Millie.
Oh, my boss is here. I'll call you later. Bye, Dad.
I'm going to do another classic comedy because we did one last time. This one is a movie that I love even more than
cover.
last time. It's called Unfaithfully Yours. By the great Preston Sturges. This is my favorite Preston Sturges film. You're probably familiar with Preston Sturges from movies like, Sullivan's Travels or The Lady Eve or maybe The Palm Beach Story. All great. This is his masterpiece, in my opinion. It stars Rex Harrison, and he is a symphony conductor. One of the greatest.
Here's to the world's greatest living conductor.
He's very famous, and he has a new, young trophy wife. A very beautiful young woman.
Good for him.
Good for him. He is also very fastidious and fussy. And he has, his assistant who follows him around and, sees to his every need and all this stuff. Anyway, he begins to suspect that his beautiful trophy wife is having an affair with his assistant.
Darling, what happened to you? Tony and I have been awfully worried. I finally had to send him to get dressed anyway.
Really?
I've had your nice sandwich already, and the ice all ready for your drink, and the bed all ready for your nap. Where have you been? I bet you've been out with some girls.
Girls.
And he contrives to both expose them and then determines that, better than that, he should basically frame the assistant for his wife's murder.
I didn't do it! I didn't do it! No! I didn't do it!
It plays out in 3 sort of separate vignettes. He keeps fantasizing about how this is going to play out. Okay. So this is not about a man who kills his wife and then that's a comedy. It's about a man who is so completely insecure and foolish that he develops this idea about how much of a genius he is that he could frame a man for murdering his wife. It's very silly. And by the time it really ramps up, it turns into basically a Looney Tunes where this guy can barely walk around his hotel room without tripping over his own ass. And it's super sweet.
All I do is wave a little wand a little, and out comes the music.
A little magic wand, darling. Dipped in a little stardust.
It's super funny.
Then there is a citizen who wants you to endow the Decada Foundation for the diffusion of serious music.
Well, throw him out. Nothing serious about music. Should be enjoyed flat in the back with a sandwich in one hand and a bucket of beer in the other and as many pretty girls around as possible.
And also, by the time it's over, this sort of prickly scenario of this man who is so desperately jealous about the idea of his wife sleeping with someone else, he realizes at the end how foolish he is and how much he loves his wife. He realizes that he has been a complete asshole the entire time. It's a bit dated in the sense of its gender politics because it's from 1940.
To be expected.
To be expected, yes. But also, it's so silly that aspect of it really sort of takes a back seat because at no point are you expected to sympathize with Rex Harrison wanting to enact this plan about destroying his marriage. He's always the butt of the joke. And Sturges was an incredible writer, of course, but I think it's forgotten how good of a visual filmmaker he was. There are these really amazing shots in this movie where Rex Harrison is conducting the symphony and all of the different sort of scenarios that he plays out in his mind are set to the music of the symphony that he's conducting. And there are these shots every time it goes into a new scenario where it zooms into his eye as he's doing the conducting and sort of introduces us to a new scene. It's really, really brilliantly conceived. And unlike anything else in Sturges' career, he made these sort of schematic, like very, very like raucous comedies.
Yeah.
This is a bit more psychological and a bit more astringent. It's a bit more mean-spirited than his other stuff.
Man, I think I'm gonna like rent both of the movies that you recommended.
This is great, and it was remade in the 80s, I think, with Dudley Moore. It's not very, the remake's not very good, but this is, I think, underappreciated as Sturges's best film. And as many masterpieces as the man made, this is underseen. Unfaithfully Yours, very, very good.
Check it out. Ho, ho, ho. You know what it's time for?
Ho, ho, ho. What is it time for?
It's time for Christmas, but it's also time for Dogsmas.
Dogsmas.
If you guys have just joined in more recently than the past year, you might not understand
your affinity for Dogsmas.
Yeah. So every year, me and Kevin, R.I.P., we created
I miss him.
Dogsmas, which is basically a day at Scarecrow where we watch all dog-centered holiday movies, which if you weren't aware, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There are way more holiday movies than you could imagine.
And that actually inspired us to watch a dog movie every episode. So Dogsmas is really the reason for the season. It's really the reason that we talk about a dog movie every episode on Viva. So it's Dogsmas once again. This is going to come out maybe on actual Dogsmas, where
close to it.
I think if it comes out on the Saturday that we think it's going to come out, it's going to be the day where we watch dog movies all day at Scarecrow. For last year, we watched Santa Buddies. Matt didn't watch Santa Buddies. This year, we're watching the prequel to Santa Buddies, which came out after Santa Buddies, and it is called The Search for Santa Paws. Search for Santa Paws, prequel to Santa Buddies. So if you're unfamiliar with that, if you want to go back in our catalog,
you don't need to know. It's fine.
But you also can go back in our catalog and watch the Christmas episode from last year where we talk about.
I mean,
Santa
I want
Buddies.
you to do that. I'm just saying you don't like. I didn't see that one, and
If
this
you
was.
wanted to
I didn't
watch
have
this,
any
you
trouble
don't
following
need
it.
to. You don't
I
need
was
to.
curious about who Mr. Hucklebuckle was,
No
but
one knew.
it turns out nobody knows.
Mr. Hucklebuckle was a great ambassador for the Santa cause.
Santa Paws was in the Santa Buddies movie, and this movie is a prequel to that, and it kind of dives into the relationship between Santa Paws and Santa. This was directed by Robert Vince, who did all the Santa.
Did every Airbud Santa Bud?
He's a big buddy guy.
He's a big buddy guy, yeah.
He's a big buddy.
He's a bud buddy.
He's a guy buddy. So it begins with Santa's birthday, which I guess is close to Christmas.
And Santa played by Richard Reel.
Who is the least charismatic Santa that I've ever seen on film.
Yes, but a very famous character actor. Probably most famous.
Why did they choose him for Santa Claus? He's so bad.
I don't know. All I'm saying is he's probably most well known to a general audience as the guy who invents the jump to conclusions mat in Office Space.
And would have different conclusions written on it that you could jump to.
Okay.
Richard Reel.
It's horrible, this idea.
He's also the guy who Harrison Ford escapes from in The Fugitive.
Oh, wow, gee whiz, look here. You know, we're always fascinated when we find leg irons with no legs in them. Who held the key, sir?
Me.
And he's also the least charismatic Santa Claus that I've ever seen in a movie.
I mean, fuck that guy.
I don't know why this guy got the job for Santa Claus. Because
I think he's fine. He's
not.
There are worse performances.
It's almost as if I were like, oh, hurry, Matt, please play Santa Claus for a second, and I'm giving you 1 second warning to do this.
I'd do it.
Yeah, but it would be bad.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be better than this guy.
I'd kill it. I'd be a
Anyways,
great Santa. Fuck you.
One of the biggest... You'd probably be better than this guy.
Ho, ho, ho! See?
One of the biggest bummers of this movie is how bad Santa Claus is. Anyways, it begins with Santa's birthday where he receives a gift.
When
and a
is
letter.
Santa's birthday?
It's probably like 10 days before Christmas.
So it's not like you where you get screwed out of Christmas and birthday presents.
And I don't get screwed, actually.
Do you
because
get double
my
presents?
family, is very nice, and I am privileged enough to get double presents.
Do you know our buyer, Mark Steiner, is also a Christmas baby?
I do know that. If you have a weird birthday, let us know. Viva@scarecrow.com. So it begins with Santa's birthday. He gets a gift and a letter from a Mr. Hucklebuckle attorney.
Just arrived by North Pole Express.
It's from the Big Apple. Dear Mr. Claus, I regret to inform you of Mr. Hucklebuckle's recent passing.
Mr. Hucklebuckle has an attorney.
Yeah, who deals with all his post-life businesses. And he sent Santa, and Mr. Hucklebuckle's attorney is like, all right, I got to forward this letter to Santa Claus? North Pole. He sends this letter and he sends this box that is a gift. And Santa opens it, and it is a stuffed dog.
A stuffed dog.
And he's like, hi. He's like, cool.
I bequeath to you, Santa Claus, this stuffed dog.
And then when does it turn?
Well, he turns it into a real dog.
He just turns it in. Does he take it to the crystal at first to turn it in?
No, Eli. I think his name's Eli the elf.
Eli
does it to please his master, Santa Claus, which is fucking sick.
Well, we all know you've been feeling a little blue, sir, and I think with the help of a little Christmas magic, we can cheer you up.
He turns the stuffed animal into a real gorgeous kind of white retriever.
His cruel master, Santa Claus.
White retriever named Paws, and it's a cute-ass puppy.
He's very sweet. I wish he was voiced by Michael J. Fox.
Of course not, for a hippopotamus. I meant to do that.
But he is not.
But alas, not everyone can
No,
be.
he's voiced by some jobber.
At the same time, Mr. Hucklebuckle's grandson
Yes, and his wife.
and his wife are called to New York to
Take over his toy
the toy store because in order to get the stuff he's due in the will.
There is, however, one stipulation. You need to operate the store through one Christmas season profitably before the deed can be transferred.
And it's Bill Cobbs, who plays like the angel in Hudsucker Proxy.
And then Mr. Hucklebuckle's grandson is not going by Mr. Hucklebuckle because that's a silly name. He goes by Mr. Huckle.
Mr. Huckle, which is totally not silly.
Actually, it's Huckle. Again, it's Huckle.
Oh, actually, it's Huckle. We shorten the name.
And he and his wife want to have children, but God has not blessed them with
They
children.
cannot be blessed with children at this time.
I'm sure your children will love it here.
Yes.
So they take over the toy store and they're like, okay, well, it looks like our grandpa has only been profitable by 1 cent every year.
Yes, every year he makes 1 penny.
We can probably do this. Let's just get it over with. The one thing that'll make this store really flourish is to have an in-store Santa.
An in-store Santa. There's a lot of plot in this.
Flashback to Santa, normal Santa that we know, who has Paws as his best friend.
You know it's true, wanna be friends for life with you.
He goes to New York.
Santa flies to New York because it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas, and it's not Christmas yet, but he's going to New York ahead of time for what reason? We don't remember.
Hookers.
Yeah.
Ever since Mr. Hucklebuckle's passing, Christmas spirit has been out of whack in New York.
Yeah, he gets almost hit by a car, and he hits his
He
head.
almost gets hit by a car, he hits his head, he gets amnesia.
Madam, your hat!
Don't worry, I'll get it.
Pause! No! Stop!
Santa!
Paws, the dog, is like, oh my God, Santa, don't you remember me? And Santa doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
By the
so
way,
he
this
goes-
is the most traumatic part of the movie where the dog is like, does anybody know Santa? I'm lonely.
Help! Somebody help! No, which way was Santa? Can anyone help me? I'm looking for Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's like, I only know Santa. He is my best friend. I don't know anyone else. He carries this jewel around his neck that makes him into...
And everybody else just sees the dog barking.
Yeah, because they don't believe.
Yes,
You
they don't
only-
believe in Santa.
You can only hear Paws talk if you believe in Santa.
If you believe in Santa.
the Santa
And
Claus.
then meanwhile,
there's a baby orphan girl.
there's an orphan girl who gets sent to a foster home run by an evil woman.
She is trying her hardest to be
the meanest.
She's trying her hardest to be Miss Hannigan from the 1980s John Huston.
Awful woman.
And she
sets their toys on fire.
If you have a toy that your dead parents got you, and that's the only thing you have from them, and they
she will throw it into the incinerator. Yeah,
that's it.
For sure.
That's it.
What a bitch.
Hey, that's mine.
Not anymore.
Please, you can't just...
Watch me.
Christmas stout. My mom gave that to me. Please give it back.
No.
So this girl, her name is Quinn. She, if you remember Santa Buddies, if you remember the terrier, Tiny, who had that tiny little voice. It was like
she
this.
voiced Tiny.
That's her. But now she's playing an orphan named Quinn.
She's playing a real person.
And one of my favorite things is every time someone brings up her parents, she goes,
they didn't make it.
They didn't make it.
They didn't make it.
It's so sad. But it's such a bizarre way of saying your parents have passed. They didn't make it. They didn't make it. And there's another girl named... Wilhelmina.
Who's great.
Who's
the actress
awesome.
is really good.
Yeah, she's good. I wish she was in more stuff, but alas, she's not. The whole orphanage is like friends now, and there's the mean Miss Hannigan lady.
Who has the best line in the movie where she bumps into Santa Claus on the street, and he's like, hey, be careful. And she goes,
why don't you mind your own beeswax, Buster?
I say that all the time, and I feel like it should be more normalized.
That's a thing that mean ladies say.
Normalize mean ladies calling people Buster.
Calling people Buster, minding your beeswax.
Wow. What a beautiful place this is.
Thank you. It's been in our family for years.
So, can you start today?
Start?
The real Santa Claus, who has amnesia, starts working at Mr. Huckle's toy store as their in-store Santa, and he says
he's a raging success too. They think his name is Bud. They think he's like an unhoused person.
But it's because he's Santa Claus. So this is where it gets kind of Miracle on 34th Street-ish. And Mr. Huckle and his wife are like, damn, this guy's like really good. He's actually
Mrs. Huckle is like, I think he's hot.
I think I want to include him in our marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Can we go can we go ethically non-monogamous?
Like ho. That's 3 people.
Yeah.
If you'd like the job and you need a place to stay, we do have a spare room with a bed in it.
Things that make you go. Things that make you go.
Meanwhile, Paws meets up with Quinn, the orphan, and he's like, I need to find Santa.
Sorry, I'm still laughing about the whole thing.
And at the same fucking time, the reindeer that dropped Santa off are still waiting for him at Central Park.
And they're bored.
And they're voiced by like normal sounding bros. They're just like, hey, I'm a reindeer, like, where's Santa?
But there's only one real Santa Claus. You'll know him when you find him.
Hey, you can't find Santa unless you believe in him. Can you hurry up?
That's like what they sound like. It's really bizarre.
It's so rad.
And then at the same time, the elf Eli, and then the Jack Russell
The elf
Terrier,
Eli, who's Mickey from Seinfeld.
and the Jack Russell Terrier, who is wearing shoes, and you could tell he really doesn't like it because he walks like this. They're trying to also find Santa or Paws.
Yes.
So there's like 6 different storylines going on here.
There's a lot. This movie's a lot.
So basically, we set you up all these. Eventually,
you'd be surprised it all works out.
They all find each other. Oh, there's the one scene where Santa Paws goes and visits the orphanage, and then fake Miss Hannigan, finds the dog and is like, we can't have this dog here.
That's a pretty gem.
No, don't! Not my crystal!
And she rips off the stone, which ends up turning Paws, the dog, into Paws, a stuffed animal.
Right.
Paws!
Right, because Paws the dog cannot be a live dog without the crystal.
Yeah. And so
I think we underexplained the importance of the magic crystal.
There is a magic crystal. It's important.
It's important.
It turns Paws into a real talking
dog.
And when that's taken away, he turns into a stuffed animal dog. And when he has a stuffed animal dog, the mean orphanage lady puts him in the incinerator.
Tries to throw him in the fire. It's very upsetting.
The cute orphan goes in after it, and there's actually it's a pretty.
It's like
scene.
Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
it's like they're gonna die.
Come on.
It's bad.
eventually they're able to bring him back. Eventually everything works out, you know.
Sure.
Mr. Huckle's like, it's not Mr. Huckle. We're going back to Mr. Hucklebuckle. He's like back to his roots. He's keeping the toy store. Santa.
They make 1 cent of profit.
They make 1 cent of profit, and he's like, okay, this is how my life's gonna be. They adopt these kids because they can't have any.
We'll never forget you.
And we'll never forget you.
You know, they need a home. Honey?
Really?
Santa remembers he is Santa. He remembers Paws. They bring Paws back a second time.
And everyone's best friends.
But it's weird because Paws doesn't turn back into the puppy Paws. He turns into like teenage dog Santa Paws.
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy Groot.
Yeah, I didn't really like the jump in age because I liked puppy Paws better than teenage Santa Paws.
You would.
But that's just me. That's like the story of how Santa Paws and Santa became BFFs.
I feel like this is like a more coherent movie than Santa Buddies. But there's so much that it becomes overwhelming.
But like what I was telling you is like, you guys, Matt hasn't seen Santa Buddies.
I haven't
but what I
seen
was
Santa
telling him
Buddies.
is it's a little more cringy because of all the different like buddies. Like
we
there's,
forgot
like, the
we forgot
rapper
about the Rastafarian dog.
Oh yeah. There is a group of dogs that help them.
Oh, this is a bunny outfit.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
We be jamming now.
There is a black colored dog with
Lots of
dreadlocks.
curly dreads, yeah. Who says like,
is very
hey, I and stuff like that. It's unpleasant.
And then there's a Scottish Terrier that says, "You're clearly one of those uptown lads with that Bonnie collar."
Yeah, man. And that'd be the Tooth Fairy.
There's also, you know, our favorite, the evil dog catcher that doesn't exist in the real world.
Who
but does
tries to get it
exist.
on with the
Iconic
mean
dog movie
foster
villain.
mom lady.
Yeah.
Ooh, why hello, Cindy Crawford. Oh, I'm sorry. Must have been a case of mistaken identity.
She's into him because he's mean.
There's also like a Boy Scout.
As a member of the 23rd Street Junior Wilderness Adventures, I will do my level best.
A junior wilderness adventurer.
I liked that part.
And he's trying to find the real Santa.
Yes.
And so he goes and sees all the like fake Santas throughout New York.
He's very sweet.
He's cool.
I liked that kid.
There's some musical numbers. There's some singing orphans, if you do like that Annie vibe.
Wherever there's angels up above, wherever there's Christmas trees, there's gonna be peace and hope and love and wonderful memories.
And regardless of their vaguely racist voice acting, there are a lot of good boys and girls in this movie.
There's a bulldog, a sweet bulldog who wraps some presents and he looks really
Absolutely. All the doggies are very sweet.
cute. For a family and like a kid movie, I think it was a pretty sweet
Oh, if I was
holiday
4
movie.
or something, I would be into this.
Even more than Santa Buddies. I did like this. I think I gave it half a star more than Santa Buddies for last year.
Half a paw.
Half a paw more, for sure.
I'm going to give this 2 paws.
I'm going to give it 2.5.
Okay.
Because I think I gave Santa Buddies 2.
Well,
and I
having not seen Santa Buddies, anyway, I'm going to give it 2 paws because it's like, it was right down the middle. At the beginning, I was kind of hating it because it's like,
And then when I came around
but I
again.
came around, it's very sweet, and there's so many cuties.
Yeah.
At a certain point,
It
it's
kinda
like,
got
what am
me-
I, made of
It kind
stone?
of got me in the like cheery festivity.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, Christmas. All right, Christmas. Come on.
I had to talk myself out of resisting it.
I love
and
that
I
for
did.
you. I love that for you.
So yeah,
You're part of the Santa cause now.
Yeah, Search for Santa Paws, 2 paws.
And 2.5 for me. So
Good job. What's the next dog
Finally.
movie?
finally, we have had to
At
put this
long
off.
last.
We've had to put this off a while because things just kept popping up. But
It's
to start
time.
off 2020,
It
well, I
has
guess
to
it'll be our
happen.
last one of 2022, but it'll come out in 2023. We are going to be watching Don Bluth's classic.
All dogs go to
All
heaven.
dogs go to
At
heaven.
last.
Because that's because that's the goddamn truth. All dogs do go to heaven.
Maybe.
I'm excited. I haven't watched it since I was little, but I remember it made me cry.
I haven't
really
seen it
liked
since it came out in the theater.
I'm a big Bluth boy.
You're
so-
a Bluther?
I'm a Bluther.
You're a 9/11 Bluther?
I'm a 9/11 Bluther.
Maybe should we consider
Watch it
having
together?
well, yes, that,
Oh.
but having the dogs here.
for the
That'll be a hard show to shoot because they're wound up.
We can try.
We could try.
We can try. Let's do it.
We'll think about it.
Maybe we'll bring the dogs next time, you guys.
Because my baby and your baby are both beautiful babies.
And they love each other.
They do like each other. They're
also
good friends.
Like literal babies.
They're wound up.
Yeah. That might be
we'll
fun.
Think about
we'll
it.
try it out.
We'll think about it.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. But all dogs do go to heaven, and that's your next dog movie. So get on it.
Get ready.
You and I are going to be best friends for all eternity.
Eternity? How long is that?
Why, forever, young pup.
Episode 51 in the can.
51 in the Christmas can.
In the bucket.
In the
bucket.
The holiday bucket.
The fuck it bucket.
The fuck it bucket. You guys, next time you see an episode, I will be 33 years old.
Holy God.
Because my birthday's coming up.
So like and subscribe.
So like and subscribe. Send to your friends and family. Follow us on Twitter at Physical Viva. Follow us personally on Twitter at eSotterback or Colonel Mortimer.
Slide into my DMs.
Slide into Matt's DMs. Email us, viva@scarecrow.com. Let us know your end of the year or your New Year movie resolutions, your favorite discoveries, your favorite picks from the year, anything you want to let us know before the year ends.
Because we want a big New Year's mailbag.
Maybe we'll have a big explosive firework of a mailbag.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I'm up for it, yeah.
Or write us 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast Seattle, Washington, 98105.
We have Scarecrow socks you can get.
Yeah.
Look at these sweet Viva Physical Media socks. Very cool.
We also have ones with our logo on it.
And we have Christmas ornaments. What the heck?
Decorate your tree with some Physical Media swag, you guys.
And
honestly.
we have these awesome, I own a pair of these.
These are good. These are warm as fuck.
Scarecrow socks. They're very
Those are more
warm.
athletic. These are like more like cozy cabin.
These are very cozy.
We have a lot of good like stocking stuffers, and like honestly, Physical Media is never a bad choice if someone has a player for a holiday present.
Absolutely.
We do gift certificates as well if you're in the area and want to come in and get one of those. Buying someone a membership means a lot to both them and to us because that's like committing a year to just showing your values about loving art and loving Seattle.
And we're fundraising end of year right now, so like donate if you wish to. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah.
bit.ly/svsupport22.
Tight. I know that.
Go for it.
That's cool. That link we will add below as well.
For real.
So yeah, 51 episodes. If you've been here since the start, God bless ya.
I've been here since the start.
I have too.
Yeah. Well,
and
you
if
definitely
if you're just starting out, if this is one of your first episodes, we're gonna bring it back. Just go in the comments and be like, "Hey," and we'll know that you're a newbie, and we welcome you. Hey.
Goes, hey. Viva Physical Media.
Viva Physical Media. Merry Christmas. Reading your mailbags, Raunch comes versus Roms, drinking some Rainiers, and talking about dogs. Ho ho ho, watch our YouTube show every other Saturday. Rent by mail or come on into Scarecrow Video today. Oh, DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Come on, watch some movies here with me, Kevin and Rich. DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Oh, what fun it is to have access to all this. Thanks for watching our show on our YouTube channel. Me, Kevin, and Rich, talking about movies. Ho, 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 looking through the shelves at Scarecrow Video. Picking something out to watch and seeing how it goes. Oh, DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Come on, watch some movies here with me, Kevin and Rich. DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc. Oh, what fun it is to have access to all this.
Hey, give me another one. Make it a double.
You look like you've had a bad day.
Tell me about it.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
You can say that again.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Hey, tell me about it.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Hey, tell me about it.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Hey, tell me about it.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Well, you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said very much.
Hey, tell me about it.
Well, you You came in here looking like crap.
Okay, we get the point.